Hey everyone. Hey. It is your girl Precious Williams. And can we have a real conversation? I want to tell you about something that happened that totally blew my mind. So the title of this is D'Angelo, Death Sentences and Starting Over. Hoping there's enough light in here. But anyway, I want to share this with you. So yesterday I had a meeting with one of my Rainmaker Speaking and Branding Accelerator clients. He's a man. And we were going over his speaker pitches. We were going over his updated LinkedIn bio. And we were starting to work on speaker one. And I happen to be talking about, people who are going through health challenges or losing their jobs and things like that. And how he's been through a number of things in his life and how those impact what you can bring to your speeches that really set you apart. So I was talking about a woman who I was reading about. She was about to have a hysterectomy and her insurance company denied coverage. And so we're talking and he says, Precious. And I said, yeah. And he said, I'm feeling like there's not enough light here. So I'm just trying, I guess I don't know how to do that. Then we're just going to do it like this. He said, D'Angelo has died. And I said, D'Angelo? D'Angelo? I said, D'Angelo. He said, yeah. I said, D'Angelo, Angie Stone D'Angelo. How does it feel, D'Angelo? He said, yeah. I said, oh, no, there's no way. There's no way. I said, well, what did he die of? He said, pancreatic cancer. And y'all want to have a pause for the cause because D'Angelo was an amazing singer. He was an amazing person. And like all of us, he's been through the good, the bad, and the ugly of life. And so for some of you, I'd be like, why are we talking about D'Angelo? Why are we talking about death sentences and starting over? My client had pancreatic cancer and battled it for years. And so here we're having a conversation about health illnesses and how do you bring that into conversations about business? How do you do certain things? And so we kind of sat there and looked at each other and he said, I'm in remission. He said, did you know that Steve Jobs died of pancreatic cancer? And we sat there and looked at each other via Zoom. And I heard God say to me, this is a moment. So I said to my client, I said, your exercise right now is to write the outline of 3 different speeches based on what we just were talking about. One is going to be focused on this audience, one's going to be focused on this audience, and one's going to be focused on the other audience. So with D'Angelo and Steve Jobs, both passing away from pancreatic cancer, both having more money than you, and you dealing with you're still here. How does that affect business clients? How does that affect those who have health issues? How does that affect? There were 3 different things. And so I said, in this moment, for 20 minutes, I want you to write these outlines. And he did. He wrote one of them. And when he came back, we were just kind of going over and he said, you know what, Precious? I never thought about that before. He said, if I was talking to a business audience, I would talk about, being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. But the only reason I would have known I was diagnosed is because my wife had me do the CAT scan. I wasn't feeling well or whatever. It turns out, I think he had stage 2 or stage 3. He was running a very successful company. And he's facing a death sentence, right? So he said, this is apropos to talking about business succession. He said, but also for some of the other audience that I might be in front of is, who's around you, who's with you in times like this, who brings you up, who are the right people to have around you when everything goes wrong. And so he's going in, he's talking, he's thinking, he's all these things. And the thing that kept coming back to me is on my computer, I couldn't see. I was so tapped into our session that I didn't have anything open to be able to know that D'Angelo had died. And so what does that have to do with all of us? Whether you're a speaker, an entrepreneur, small business owner, you are in corporate America, there are things that are going to happen that are going to feel like a death sentence. You're going to hear about the loss of someone that you really cared about. You would never see not being here. And at the end of the day, how does that improve or impact your life? As speakers, does it do something to some of the topics that you talk about? Does it help in your keynotes? Does it help in certain ways? Because none of us are promised to be here forever. And if you're not promised to be here forever, what would you change? How does that improve something that's happening in business right now? How does that work in certain ways? So let's talk about you. So tonight, I'm doing Pitch Review as the Killer Pitchmaster Live. As y'all can tell, I'm excited. But even with learning that D'Angelo has passed, how does that work? What if you're launching something and there's nothing but crickets? What if you're putting things out there and no one's biting? You feel bad. You feel like, dang, man, they told me that if I put it out there, they will come. Is it over before you began? It's not. I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years, three companies, but for the most part, the last two were in pitching, sales, business development, and whatever. I remember when no one wanted to invest in the first one. And I had to get out there and figure out the right rooms to pitch in, to get out there and go to different networks and to put myself out there boldly and loudly when the world told me to shut up as a fat woman. Today, when I'm working with these companies, corporations, foundations, nonprofits, and private associations, what are their challenges? Right now, let's say your pitches and your presentations, they were solid, but now everybody's acting like they don't know your name. And so when I was at IMEX in Vegas, one of the things that kept coming back to me is I'm on these stages with these amazing people. And I'm here because I'm the killer pitchmaster and the rainmaking speaker. They chose me, but that meant someone had to say my name. So before I left, no one had signed up. No one had anything. And tonight, I'm so proud of all those who have signed up and will be in the space for Pitch Review as the Killer Pitchmaster. And so you may launch or you may be in your pre-launch and nothing's working. When I think about D'Angelo, when I think about my client and him facing that death sentence and him appreciating the fact that he's still around. Hey, Jason. And then some launches are great and some launches are crickets. You might question yourself. You might think maybe nobody wants to rock with me. Without ever once thinking about the economy, without ever once thinking about that people are going through a lot of things right now that they normally wouldn't be going through. So my encouragement is just because this seems like it's not, keep pressing. I know I have a friend who remembers I was doing Kickstarter. I think they had some of the first plus size lingerie company funded on Kickstarter. Yeah, that's how far back. And I remember that what I was raising and things were not moving. And I told her, I don't know if I had 36 hours or 3 days or whatever. And I told her, I'm not giving up, regardless of how dark it's dark and hell is hot. I'm not giving up. I'm going hard to the bitter end. I don't care what odds are against me. And you know what? We got funded because I never stopped and I never quit. And I know some people were tired of me. And I know some people were like, da 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 da. But that's what you got to do in these streets. With your launch, keep pressing, keep going. And everybody can't come to everything that you do because they have others to support and they have kids and they have this. It's okay. Everybody's not going to be there. You can have 5. You can start with 2. All of the big ones started with nothing. And then it might have been 2 people, then 10 people, then 50 people, and then whatever. But wherever you start, it may feel like a death sentence. It may feel like, man, my stuff is over before it began. I want to encourage you. It's not over, and it won't be over. Don't you stop pressing. Don't you stop promoting. Don't you stop being in inboxes. Don't you stop making calls. Don't you stop texting. Because when you stop doing what you're supposed to be doing, you've got to promote what you're doing. You've got to ask and keep asking, keep asking. You've got to do that. And when the contestants started and the audience started signing up, we didn't stop. We wanted people to feel excited. So I don't know about you or anybody else. You're going to hear over and over and over again. You're going to look at all the top people and you're going to be like, man, I wish that didn't start there. So mind your start and don't you give up. And if it is 2 people or it's 1 person, you better give them a show. Because at the end of the day, I want you to go so hard in the paint. I can't be in the starting lineup if I wasn't willing to get off that bench and go hard. What did Nicki Minaj say? Coming off the fully drenched. I'm not on the bench. Coming off fully drenched. I'm giving my all to the situation. So when you launch or you want to put something out there and you find, how about this? You start something and that day you realize everybody's got something on that day. So now you want to stop. And you want to say, no, it can't be done. No, there's a lot of things happening tonight. There's a lot of things happening tonight. I'm so committed. I was going in the paint. And if there was going to be 2 people or the 15 today, I'm going in. And I'm so glad that I did not give up. Even when my assistant was like, hey, we didn't have any signups. I said, I'm going to Vegas. And what did Beyonce say? Listen, I don't gamble, but I'm always going to bet on myself. So I hope this stands as an example to all of you. Don't give up. You see all these amazing speakers, trainers, small business owners. I'm not giving up. I'm just not going to give up. Period. I don't care who has the bigger name. I don't care about any of that. Am I showing up? And so my client is showing up. And at that moment, when we're having this sobering moment about D'Angelo, the great singer, no longer being here. If that's not an inspiration to him, he's still here. That means his purpose is not over. So in that moment, we're going to write right now. This is a teachable session. This is a moment. We're not going to sit on Zoom and just talk about speaking. No. We're going ham and cheese. And that is the difference between someone who's tapped in, clock it. Someone who loves being in the trenches and fighting with the clients, fighting with my customers and showing them you can believe that everything can be done online and you can have this fun on all of this. You still got to do the work, especially in a competitive environment like this where people their minds are divided. They are getting the worst news of all time. It may feel so like it will never happen. I want to encourage you that no matter what, you got to see it all the way through. You got to. And if I gave up because a week and a few days before putting this out there, there were no signups. Did you hear what I just said? No signups. You're like, nah, P. It wasn't like, yes, because that's always how it is. We believe that, if someone has a name, people just automatically. No, you still got to bait, attract, and close. You still got to put some skin in the game. You still got to go hard. And so we take from D'Angelo, death sentence, turning it into life's purpose. You're not done. AI doesn't mean you're done. Funnels don't mean you're done. You've still got to get out there and still become the only choice that matters. And if you switch from pitching to sales and this kind of thing, take them with you. People have so much distractions. So don't you ever stop and don't you ever quit. And so tonight at Pitch Review, as the Killer Pitch Master Live, I'm so excited that People are coming with the 30 to 90-second pitches, and I'm going to break it down and build it up. We're going to have audiences asking questions and stuff like things that you want to try. And some of us sit around here and we're like, oh, we don't have the community. Start building it. You can have the greatest products and services. You have no community. Build the community. Because without a community, without people checking on you, without people looking out for you, it's not going to happen. So don't ever believe just building it, they will come. No, bring them to it. Show them. Demonstrate. Don't waste their time. And so as a woman who I can put things out there, ain't nobody signing up, ain't nothing. You think that means it's over? Really? We didn't come the first plus size lingerie company who successfully funded on Kickstarter. We didn't raise $750,000 for Curvy Girls just by sitting at home and hoping and praying if I send an email. No, we do the full court press. And to my speakers, to my small business owners, to my entrepreneurs, to those in corporate America, to those who are transitioning and whatever, be on your full court press. Do not get lulled into, if I do it online, that's enough. It's not. That's why showing up at networking events. That's why building real relationships matter. That's why my client, after he battled pancreatic cancer, I was at South by Southwest. We met. He signed up with me. We had a conversation 3 years ago, but he knew I was the right one because he had more to add to his repertoire. This is an Inc. 500, 5,000. Don't play with me. I'm being so for real. So don't allow yourself to get locked into, oh, AI can do it all. Can it build your community? Because the people you may see who are having all these amazing sales, if they really are, there's usually a community behind it. There really is. Savvy ladies, there's dames, there's luminary, there's TSP, there's a community. If you have no community, let's get started on building that. But as a speaker, international professional speaker, top Fortune 100 corporate sales trainer, 5-time best-selling author, I do have a community. And that community does not go to everything that I do. But when I have these ideas, I test them. Good or bad, right or wrong, I love to test. And if I got 2 people, 15, 30, whatever, we're going to go ham and cheese. So when you think about D'Angelo, the great singer who passed yesterday, I would not have known at that moment had my client not battled pancreatic cancer. So how sobering is that? That he was given a death sentence, turned it into life's purpose. His company is still thriving. In fact, it's an anomaly because right now he should be in a low. He's not. And he wants to add speaking to his repertoire. He came to Dominion Energy Convergence Conference, saw me live. So some of my clients never meet me until something else happens. So if you think about that, that's what I'm talking about, real community. So when I say to all of you, you know, you can launch something and think people are supposed to sign up. You've got to still do the full court press all the way up until I know I was given a death sentence. I know I was told it was over. I'm old, tired, and through. That is a death sentence for somebody else. It is not for me. Your limitations aren't my limitations. And I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep testing the market and stuff like that because nothing is guaranteed in business. But my effort outwork me and see what happens. I'm going to work. We going to work because we know that your dollars are important. Your participation, your attention matters. So go ham and cheese in the paint. Go after who you want. And just know you build your funnel that way too. There are people who are going to say your name in spaces. So when I talk about pitch review, Ask the Killer Pitch Master Live, this is going to be fun for me. It's going to be fun for our contestants and the audience because they are vested in this and they're excited. So to go from no signups, no nothing, to where we are today, I'm happy. But I'm also happy that my client taught me a very valuable lesson that even though we were in the middle of a great meeting for Rainmaker Speaking and Branding, when he saw that we had to stop what we were doing, look at each other, talk about the fact that had his wife not said, had that CAT scan, he would not know that he had pancreatic cancer. battled for 3 years in remission. So that meant something. We were going to sit with that. And how does that apply to him as a speaker? Because he could talk about what, all these other things, but he also has something else to add to it. How do you face a death sentence? Who do people, right people you need in your life? What does succession planning look like? What does it mean to run a multi-million-dollar business with a death sentence hanging over you? You might not survive. Does your purpose change? Do you go all in? Do you go ham and cheese in the paint? You take care of your employees. You take care of your family. He did all of that. His purpose isn't over. And us sitting there 3 years from the first time we met to the time we started working together, 3 years. There are people waiting to see if you really are who you say you are. They're not going to come at you the first time. It may take 15, 20 hits of watching you before they do. Have you changed up? Have you switched up? Do you seem like you're all over the place? I'm telling you, it matters. So D'Angelo, death sentence, purpose, launches. Don't you ever give up. And don't you allow yourself to be lulled with that the internet can do everything. You still have to do your part. You still have to make people feel like they would love to work with you. In a sea of all these options, why you? Why are you the only choice that matters? My name is Precious Williams, and I'm the proud founder of the Perfect Pitch Group. Let me make sure I acknowledge everybody. Jason, what's up, Jason? Pakita, good afternoon to you. Jamel, how you doing, King? And then Colette, what's up, Queen? Yes, let me tell you something. It's my queen out of Massachusetts. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this little welcome to my TED Talk, Precious Edition. But also just understand, there's a lot of things happening right now. It does not mean that you stop. You may have to reflect and go another way. Remember, business isn't guaranteed. But if you have these great ideas, test them small. You don't need to have a conference room full of people. Sometimes you can start with very few people. Sometimes you can just start virtually and start small so you can iron out the kinks. I'm not afraid of testing. I'm not afraid of doing things differently or dreaming differently, as my queen Ronalda always says. So to you all, thank you all so much. Please send good vibes tonight because we go ham and cheese at Pitch Review as the Killer Pitchmaster Live. And then for those in DC, I'm going to see y'all very, very soon with Luminary Live DC. Love you all. It's your girl, Precious Williams, proud founder and CEO of the Perfect Pitch Group. Mwah.